Hello YouTube, my name is rhianaB, and today's video is going to be something I've never done on my channel before, but I've kind of thought about doing something like this. I'm actually going to be doing an album review. I've recently been watching a lot of YouTubers who react to certain albums. One in particular is Dylan Will Not Participate. I've been really getting into his videos and love when he goes in depth over albums as a whole. So I'm going to be doing that today, and I'm so excited because I'm going to be reacting for the first time to the Arctic Monkeys' brand new album, Tranquility, Base Hotel and Casino. It has been 5 whole years since we have had any new stuff from Arctic Monkeys, because last album was AM, and that was actually the album that got me into Arctic Monkeys. I started with AM, and then I got into Humbug, and then I got into Favorite Worst Nightmare, and now I am a full-blown Arctic Monkeys fan. I love their music. I love how they change their style, but they still keep that uniqueness that is so them. So I'm very excited. Also, with every album that they do, they tend to have a different style. So I'm very interested on what this theme for this album is going to be. I don't even know if I want to say anything, because I don't know, I'm just very intrigued. I am coming into this completely blind. I've not read up on any interviews. I have not listened to any previews. I have wanted to just experience this for you guys, have it completely be authentic and first reaction. So let's go ahead and get our headphones on. And let's get into the album. First song is Star Treatment, starting now. Oh. Kind of like 40s kind of a sound. Kind of reminds me of like early Sinatra.
To be one of the strokes.
Whoa.
Now look at the mess you made me make. Hitchhiking with a monogram suitcase. Ask your mates.
It's very like
boys in bad shape.
It's very like smooth and slow, but it's got a beat to it. I like that.
Dolls like you and me. Everybody's on a barge floating down the endless stream of great TV. Impressive mustache, love came in a bottle.
I love Alex Turner's lyrical play. I just love listening to him, listening to songs. It's just like listening to pure poetry.
So who you gonna call? The martini police to get to your eyes.
I think this is a very interesting song to start off with. It's not starting with a bang, but it's like kind of building to what I assume the rest of the album is going to sound like. I don't know why, but his voice is reminding me a lot of like later Bowie. And I never really connected that until this song. I love that line. This is very interesting. It's like, it's telling me the story of a performer in Vegas. I don't know why, but that's the image I have in my head. It's like a performer in Vegas, in a way like how they go throughout their days, like performing multiple times every day, you know, drinking and living too wild. I mean, that's the image I'm getting in my head right now. Just very atmospheric. Now the ending here, I'm kind of getting like some Pink Floyd vibes, like a lot of like the very atmospheric sound that they usually make like on Dark Side of the Moon. Alright, I'm gonna stop it there. There's about a little bit of time left on it, but that was actually pretty good. That was a pretty good starter. Very slow, nothing, it didn't have like a strong build in the song itself, but I can only imagine that this is gonna lead to bigger sounds throughout the album. This was just like a very mellow way to open the album out. So it's a pretty good start, and I like the vibe. It's like giving me like, you know, like the Rat Pack in Vegas and, you know, living a crazy life and performing for a ton of people. I like that vibe. And if this is how the whole album's gonna go, I'm really gonna like this. All right, next song is 1 Point Perspective. Okay. Now we got a little bit of like a stronger beat.
Dancing in my underpants, I'm gonna run for government. I'm gonna form a covers band and all.
Okay, a lot of different things here.
By the baby grand, did Mr. Winter Wonderland say, come here kid, we really need to talk.
All right.
Bear with me man, I lost my train of thought, thirsty for blood.
All right, there's a lot of like contradicting points here, which is very interesting. I think that's like Alex like in the back making those tiny little noises.
Just as the apocalypse finally gets prioritized, and you cried some of the hottest tears you ever cried.
This is, hold up, pause there. There's so many like musical references that I'm getting in this album. I've already mentioned that it kind of reminds me of some Sinatra vibes, like Rat Pack, that type of an era. Then I'm getting some David Bowie, because I don't know why, but every time I'm hearing Alex on this album, I'm hearing a lot of like Bowie types of sounds with his voice. And now I'm getting a lot of Pink Floyd. It's like there's so many musical references, which is weird because I'm not used to hearing that with Arctic Monkeys, but I think because of this may be like a conceptual album, maybe that's what they're going for here, but it's so interesting. I'm just hearing so many musical references, because that guitar, that just brought me straight to a Pink Floyd guitar sound. So, I mean, this is really interesting. I just love that little piano noise, like the da 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 da.
Sing song round the money tree.
Do 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 do. All right, now moving on into American sports. By that title, this is gonna be interesting.
So when you gaze planet Earth from outer
Wow,
space,
that's a lot deeper than I expect from Alex.
does it wipe that stupid look off of your face? I saw this aura over the battleground.
This is not how I expected the song to sound with the title.
Lost the money, lost the keys, but I'm still handcuffed to the briefcase.
Isn't that a reference to something? I can't think of it.
And I never thought on video call. Breaking news, they take the truth and make it.
It's so weird hearing Alex's voice that low. It's almost like he doesn't sound like himself, but he does at the same time. That's really weird.
A montage of the latest ancient ruins.
I hear like a little bit like a synth in the back. Adds a little bit more depth. Wow. That echo effect though. I really was not expecting a song called American Sports to have that type of sound. I don't know why, but it's like I would have expected like a lot more upbeat, especially if it's American sports, and if you go to any American sporting event, it's always high energy, screams, high, high everything, in more ways than one sometimes. But I didn't expect for that type of sound. Like his voice was low. I don't know if I've ever listened to a Arctic Monkey song with his voice like that low. like really, really low. I know he can hit a lower register, but just hearing that sound, that was something that I didn't expect. And that's what I love. So I'm excited. This is turning out pretty well. Moving on to the title track, Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. Okay, I like that guitar and the bass. This whole album so far has been pretty smooth. Like, nothing like crazy rock. It's just very like mellow, I guess a mellow rock sound, I guess.
Jesus in the day spa, filling out the information form. Mama got a hair done.
There's like that little synth sound in the back again.
Tranquility Base, Hotel and Casino. Mark speaking. Please tell me how may I direct your call.
Wait, Marx is it like in Karl Marx?
Feels as if it really might catch on. Kiss me underneath the moon's side.
He's doing a lot more like ooh kind of a thing.
Good afternoon, Tranquility Base, Hotel and Casino. Mark speaking.
Oh. That was a little bit of a weird like they sound like little bells.
Tranquility
Is that a bat? It sounded like a bat.
Hotel and Casino. Mark speaking. Please tell me how may I direct your call.
Yeah, in the beginning he says Jesus in the dry bar dry bar, and then he's referencing Marx, and I can't help but think that's like Karl Marx, who is the creator of the thought of communism. So it's very interesting to have both Jesus and communism, or at least Karl Marx, have them both be like the same sort of like narrative story. So let's go ahead and move on to Golden Trunks. Now this sounds interesting. Oh, whoa. Oh, here comes the heavy guitar. Or not even guitar, it may be like enhanced guitar.
Last night when my psyche
Now I'm getting a Beatle vibe with the harmonies.
to me in its scary voice, and in response to what you whispered in my ear, I whispered sometimes.
Wow.
Fantasize about you too.
I think this is probably my favorite song so far. I like this. I love that guitar. I love the harmonization.
You're of the free world.
It just sounds so good.
You are a wrestler wearing tight golden trunks.
I love this. This is okay, I have to pause. This is by far my favorite song so far. The combination of the harmonization and the guitar, it's striking me. And obviously it's giving me a very much like a Beatle vibe, because the Beatles were so iconic for their harmonization, that it just sounds so good. It sounds so clean. It sounds just, it's just so pleasing to the ear. I literally just want to be like this and just like let this whole feeling continue.
In the daytime.
All right, moving on to 4 out of 5. Oh. I feel like I'm having that same reaction with every song. A little bit more of a different sound.
Start your free trial today. Come on in the waters. It is that easy. Lunar surface on a Saturday.
It's more like a.
Dressed up in silver and white with colored old gray wheels.
It's like very like up and down kind of a sound.
Come and stay with us. It's such an easy flight. 4 stars out of 5.
4 stars out of 5.
That's unheard of.
Ooh, all right. I like that kind of drawback with the instrumental.
Okay, cookie with the opposite sex. The things you try to forget. Doesn't time fly?
This song, I think more than anyone, I feel like I really want to just like move to it. It's got a groove to it. I like it.
You know that. Take it easy for a little while. Days that don't exist.
Okay.
Information action ratio. Only time that we stop laughing is to breathe or steal a kiss.
It's kind of that same little piano sound like the dun 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 dun. All right, I'm gonna stop that song there just for the sake of time, but that song's interesting because they were talking about 4 out of 5 for a song, but now I can't help but think that. But I can't help but think that it's also like referencing like a hotel, you know, like 4 out of 5 stars, especially since the album is based on like a hotel and casino. So I think it's interesting that song title, and you can play with it like that. I just want to like kind of delve into this and be like, what is the main narrative of the entire album? Because it's all centered, I feel like, on this one hotel and casino and the people that walk in and the experience that it gives you. So I kind of want to hear the rest of this and figure out like if there is a whole narrative plot to this, or if it's just kind of like piece by piece describing certain things, maybe from a certain era. All right, next up is the world's first ever monster truck front flip. Okay, I had to wait for it to scroll on my phone, but let's get into this. It's got that same kind of like a punchy sort of a sound. Very light and punchy, I should say. All right then. I'm getting like Halloween music, which I don't mean that in like a corny way, but it does sound like something you would listen to if you bought like an album or a CD that was meant to be played at a Halloween party. This sound, maybe it's just that piano. I associate that so much with that type of a sound, but that's what I'm getting right here. We'll push the button and we'll do the rest? Again, one of the songs that kind of makes you just want to sway. Okay, now that was interesting because it's basically, from hearing the lyric, you know, mood for love, you push the button and we'll do the rest, I can't help but read that in a sexual tone. And it's interesting because the song is called The World's First Ever Monster Trunk Front Flip. Now, that to me that doesn't seem to connect at all, but maybe the way Alex was interpreting it was maybe it's like the feeling you get when you're about to do something so big and grandiose, like, you know, doing a front flip on a monster truck. There's a lot of adrenaline, there's a lot of emotion involved with what you're doing, because this could mean like life or death for you. So maybe the feeling you get while going into this monster truck flip is the same feeling you get when you're trying to hook up with your lady, and maybe again associated with the hotel thing, like getting the courage to take her up to your room or to her room and having a good time. So that may be me reading into this, and it may be my own opinion, but that's what I got from this. But with that said, let's move on to science fiction, and I'm kind of wondering how this is going to sound. So let's get to this.
Religious, I iconography,
Okay.
giving you the creeps.
Religion and iconography giving you the creeps.
Disco lizard, all along your cheek.
Disco lizard.
I must admit you gave me something pure, but not on my watch. I wanna stay with you, my love, the way some science fiction does.
A lot of piano play in this album that I don't think they've really done in their past albums.
In the silver screen, a strange society.
I could definitely see why they would call this science fiction.
Hard on for connectivity, but in a sexy way where it's not obvious. I like it.
I'm sorry, I had to pause there. So trying to sell something that isn't sexy and trying to sell it as sexy. And in a song called Science Fiction, and the first lines he says are religion and iconography give me the creeps. Again, it's just so interesting, the lyrical content. I am really just intrigued. If I give this a couple more listens, I can probably really get into this, but just upon first listen, there's so much to take in with the lyrics, so let's go ahead and just listen to the rest.
Send out hidden messages the way some science fiction does. The way some science fiction does.
Okay, I honestly would probably put that as maybe so far my second favorite song. I just really, again, I want to listen to these songs just like over and over again just to get the lyrical content and like really figure out what he's saying here, because this song has got a lot of different aspects to it, like the religion and, you know, sexiness and aliens, science fiction, all of that together. It's a very interesting combination for a song. So this is the one I think it's intrigued me quite a bit. So I would probably say this is my second favorite song. Let's see. We have got 3 more songs, including this one, She Looks Like Fun. So let's see about that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa! What is this? Is this Alex?
Smile like you got a straw in something tropical. I've got the party plugged right into my skull.
This started here and now we're like way over here.
What a memorable NYE.
This is insane.
Finally, I can share with you through. There's no limit to the length of the dickheads we can be.
What? This song is just taking me on a major roller coaster.
Dark City. Somebody's watching, 'cause they are.
There's that Pink Floyd sound again. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Wow, okay, that is, okay. I feel like I may be contradicting myself a couple of times with this, but that, just from the beginning, it had me hooked. Like, this, out of everything we've heard on this album so far, is truly unique. It's something about, like, that deep voice, like, saying, she looks like fun, and then Alex kind of coming in with this higher sound. So, because if that is Alex singing that low part, again, I'm like, it's crazy hearing him sing in such a low register. This song, okay, it doesn't quite be Golden Trunks for me, but this is probably my second favorite. It's like this and Science Fiction are kind of in the same place. This song, wow. My facial reaction, I think, was everything. It's just like, I could not believe what I've been listening to. The only time I could think of where a song from Arctic Monkeys gave me that same feeling was when I was listening to Balaclava off of Favorite Worst Nightmare. Like, I listened to that for the first time and I was like, what am I listening to? I've never heard anything quite like this. And this is the same kind of a song. Like, it's just, oh wow, just this song was amazing. That one was good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. We got two more songs left. This one is it called Bat Phone? Bat Phone, we'll go with that. Again, a lot of the piano. Oh, got a little bit of like different instruments in there.
I want an interesting synonym to describe this thing.
Again, this has got a little bit of like a groove as well.
Grandfather did. About the time that I got sucked into a hole through a handheld device, I will
Suck through a hole with some sort of device? Very interesting there.
Has been simplified. Since the last time you tried, I've recognized. You going through the door.
All right, bringing up with the guitar a bit.
Trilogy wallpaper walls. They have redecorated it all.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the last song on the album, and it's called The Ultra Cheese, which I remember seeing on Twitter when it was announced that they were gonna have this new album, that this was one of the more interesting titles off the album. So I'm very intrigued on what this could bring, especially since this is the closer to the album. So I'm very interested to see what this is gonna sound like, how we're gonna close this all off. Oh wow.
Still got pictures of friends on the wall.
Okay, yeah, they've definitely like mellowed it down quite a bit.
Anymore.
It sounds already like a perfect closer song.
I shouldn't ever call that thing friendly at all. When I haven't been expecting one.
Again, very smooth, very soothing type of a sound.
To be part of the fun. Once upon a time. We'll be there at the back of the bar. Every time there was a rocket launch or some big event.
I like that.
What a death I died. And his sons, 'cause it's the ultra cheese.
I just think that's such a weird word to use in a song like this.
That you went for a walk and dressed like a fictional character
Okay.
from a place they call America in the golden age.
Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go. America in the Golden Age. And dressing up like a fictional character, the ultra cheese. There are elements of this that are starting to fit together for me. I just don't know if I would put this title with the sound of the song. Again, very contradictory. I can't talk today. It's just like, now that makes sense. He says that and it all makes sense now. Okay, all right, let's finish this off.
Plus the politics to come around when you were just trying to orbit the sun and forth. But the truth is I'm probably not.
Okay.
If I ever was.
Oh, wow. Okay, that changed a little bit there. I like this. I like this a lot.
But I haven't stopped loving you once. Ooh.
All right. Okay. Wow. All right, guys. Well, that was it. That was the whole album of Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. I gotta say, very, very interesting. This was just a very interesting experience. And usually I don't sit down and listen to an album like, chronologically and just sit there and listen to it. I usually just like put it on shuffle and then I listen to different songs in a different order. But listening to it in this way, it kind of took me on a bit of a roller coaster experience. A couple songs definitely were the most interesting. I think still my favorite is Golden Trunks. Golden Trunks, I think, was still my favorite song out of the album. I think close second, She Looks Like Fun and Science Fiction. Those are two of probably my next favorites. The Ultra Cheese, I think that one just surprised me because it kind of like came all together. Like there was the whole thing saying about the golden age and, dressing like a cartoon, like not a cartoon, but a fictional character in America, calling yourself the Ultra Cheese. It's like, that was just like, it connected in my brain and it just made me very happy. Other than that, I did like Star Treatment. I thought that was a very interesting song. 1 Point Perspective. I just gotta say, all in all, a pretty good album. I actually really did like it. It was interesting though to listen to these guys have a sound that, as far as I'm aware of, they've never done a sound like this before. Like, if you listen to something like Favorite Worst Nightmare, it's very like, very rock alternative type of a sound and very upbeat, a little bit of angst in it in a couple of songs. And then you move on to Humbug, which was, I believe, the album afterward. And it was more like, I kind of considered like a really like low grunge type of a sound. Probably more angst and anger in it in a couple of songs. And then you go on to AM, which I think brought back a lot of their older sound from like really early in their career. And they played with a lot of like different sound effects and stuff like that to make it seem like a little bit more of an electronic sound in a couple of songs. This one though, what's interesting is that they had a lot of instrumental effects. Like you can hear it on the guitar, you can hear it on piano every once in a while. I heard a couple synthesizers a little bit in the background. But yet they had like a modern sound, but it kind of reflected like, a lot of British groups from, back in the day, back in the 60s and the 70s. And I got a little bit of like, more of the theme of like the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra, stuff like that from like the 50s and the 60s. That was more of the theme, but I got a little bit of that sound, especially in a song like Star Treatment. So there's just like, it worked. I don't know, it's not what I expected from them, but it's a pleasant surprise. And I gotta say, I don't know where I would rank this per se upon all the albums I've heard. I would have to listen to it a couple more times, because currently I think Humbug and My Favorite Worst Nightmare are my favorite albums so far, although AM holds a special place in my heart because it was the first album I ever heard from them. I would need to listen to this a couple more times for me to really get a good consensus on, how I feel about this album as a whole. But I gotta say, I actually really do like it. It's a different sound, it's more mellow, it's more smooth. I definitely can see, like, someone who was into that type of music back then would probably like something like this, although it's got some quirks in it. So overall, I actually really do like this. So I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you like the album as well. Tell me what you thought of the album in the comments below. But on that note, I'm going to end the video here. So if you guys like it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me comments down below. What did you think of the album? Are you going to go out and experience more Arctic Monkeys? Please let me know. I'd love to read your comments. And if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead, hit subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today, and until the next video, bye!